of the social media through the social universe, and in many cases you learn the secrets of the universe itself. We welcome our listeners back, and thank you for tuning in with us each week. And we talk a lot about social media. We talk a lot about professional networking. We talk a lot about nonprofits. We're going to mention a little bit about that today. And we also talk about for-profits and using all the different ways that they have at their fingertips, including Google and web advertising, to be able to get to where they need to go and get the word out about their business. So for those of you who are just tuning into the social universe, that's what it's all about. We also have our amazing advertisers that we love to talk about. We have Crescendo, which is a $50 million company that does two things. They do VoIP Cloud. We learned on a webinar today about Crescendo that within 3 to 5 years, 70 to 80% of all business owners in the United States will be on VoIP Cloud phones. There's two reasons that they are on VoIP Cloud phones. One is it's cost reduction. Two, it saves you from having to have capital expenditures. You have a 15 phone system, normally costs you $40,000 of capital expenditure. That goes away and your monthly phone bill is reduced. Who wouldn't want that? The only reason that it's 3 to 5 years is they're locked in contract for the next 3 to 5 years. So we appreciate Crescendo being a sponsor of the show. They also do web advertising, search engine optimization, and they've been responsible for me seeing the light about Google. Google is obviously a major monarch out there as far as advertising is concerned. So they are ranked in the top 20 in the United States out of probably over 100,000 SEOs. So it's a great place to go for Crescendo. If you need any information about them, call 480-296-1776 and we'll be able to get you quotes. We also love Glendale Flowers. They take care of my wife on every event that's important or that is important to her, but doesn't have any national significance, so just to say I love you or whatever the case might be. And also a lot of the business owners get flowers from me to say thanks as well, from our business to their business. So whatever the occasion might be, go visit Glendale Flowers on approximately 59th Avenue and 59th Avenue and Grand Avenue, the intersection there. Wonderful, quaint little place. And then also where I'm going to be spending just a few minutes this evening, they've actually expanded their hours. We have Planet Beach. They are open till 9 o'clock at night now, so you can have, for a very small monthly membership fee, you can have unlimited spa visits. A lot of people think it's just a tanning salon. It's actually not. In fact, I've never used their tanning services, even though there are people who do, and it's only obvious I haven't used their tanning services. Probably need to. But you can have unlimited massage. You can have unlimited hydration, facials, all kinds of things that are absolutely amazing. So make sure you stop by Planet Beach and partake of their great pampering services. So to the best point of what we have on our show today, we actually are bringing on a wonderful friend of mine who has taken care of almost all of my automotive needs for the last few years, and has been a great person to work with, a great friend over the years, and that's actually how we became friends, is him and working on our cars. And it's amazing that you can say that sometimes the guy who works on your car becomes your enemy. So I want to introduce you to somebody who won't become your enemy and is actually going to be a great friend for you as well. So we have Jessie Nessi on the show today, and he has his own automotive shop called Nessi's, and we were just talking prior to the show that his logo looks a little bit like a snake, but it is actually Nessie the Loch Ness Monster. So that was kind of, well, tell us a little bit about that. How did this all come about?
Well, hello everybody, first of all. The logo was just something I kind of put together. I've had, with having the rhyming name, it's kind of the joke of a lot of kids growing up and stuff like that. Everybody kind of assumes, you were made fun of, Jessie Nessi, what a funny name. Growing up, I never had that problem. I actually went to class with a bunch of Jessies, so it wasn't until after I left the Marine Corps that people started calling me by my first name. I've always been Nessi, and ever since I was little, I was aware of where the name came from. That it was the Loch Ness Monster's nickname, and always kind of playing around with art. I mean, a lot of what I do at the body shop has to do with art. I've always loved drawing, sketching, and doing that kind of stuff. So it just, when it came time to put together my own business, it just came natural to just go with what I knew, sort of stick with, with something that's kind of catchy, but it's. Is it real? Is it not? I mean, who knows? just kind of keep it friendly.
It's a mystery, and it keeps it fun. The ambiance is in. It's great. Now, give us a little bit about your contact information. If somebody wants to drop by and see your shop, you just created a new location.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. We just moved to a 1.5 acre lot right off of Osborne and 27th Avenue, so south of Indian School, north of Thomas, and we're really centrally located, really easy to get to from any of the freeways, I-17, I-10. People can come to us for any number of things, from insurance to restorations or whatnot. We're in the process of doing all the remodeling right now, so it is a bit upside down. But we're still keeping the fact that we do very, very high quality work, even through our restoration. I'm not one of those deep pocket companies just being able to throw a bunch of money in there, but we're still open. We're working with a lot of insurance companies to bring in some of that work, and everything's going pretty well.
Very good. So yeah, those tenant improvements, I think any business owner out there knows what it's like to go through tenant improvements, and when you're done, it's worth it, but it's a little bit of a backache in the meantime.
It sure is.
So definitely thanks for coming on the show today, Jessie. And
thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. And tell us a little bit about you. Some of the our listeners like to know, who's the man behind the name. Who's the person, the personality behind it. And the social media very often lets people know what the personality is of the person behind it. For example, I don't know if you guys heard in the news that social media blew up over a Scottsdale restaurant. I won't name names because I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but it went national news because they brought in an outside third-party agency. It was a reality show to come in and talk about, help them learn how to do better business and to make their business better.
Okay,
so
it sounds familiar.
It went berserk because they didn't. It's obviously on the national scene, very Facebooky, very Yelp, gets involved, the feedback of the customers, and what's on national news, and they saw what was going on. I mean, there was stuff going on that basically he just said, here's the 5 things you need to do to improve, and one of the top things is stop stealing tips from the waitresses. Oh boy, the dirt began to fly. But the point is that social media lets the personality come out. So what I can tell you is that you're going to like Jessie a lot more the more you get involved, as opposed to the other way around. But whoever you are, social media lets people know who you are. Oh. So great place to go. For example, this show will be going up on YouTube afterwards. So if anybody wants to get to know Jessie a little bit, then it's a great way to know the business owner a little bit. Sometimes he hides back there in the back office and his guys do all the work, but he's very hands-on and very involved.
I would definitely say that's a big difference between me and just about every other body shop owner, if you would. I like to keep very much hands-on. I've learned through experience, through kind of not so good experiences, that when you pass on responsibility to other parties, sometimes your personal touch goes away, and especially in a field where you're dealing with people's safety, with their vehicles, with their custom work. Somebody might tell you exactly what they like, and you interpret it, you understand it, you comprehend it, and then you try to pass that on to somebody else. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they fall short. So I like to very much keep my hands on. I have always been very outgoing, very friendly. It's not a show that I put on. It's not, it's not a persona that goes away. Whoever knows me, most of my friends I've met through the body shop, and I surround myself with people that I do business for and with, and I found it very, very satisfying to me to not just be able to go and do my job, but actually make it part of my life. And I don't have a mask that I take on or put off or whatever. Just I go to work and I'm the same person that you see at home, and I take a lot of pride in what I do. My employees, my workers, all follow that same principle.
They really do. When I walk around in the with the mechanics and the workers, they all know my name, which really surprised me. So yeah, I mean it's just a great place.
And just to defend your position, you are not the highest volume customer we've had, so don't by any means think they know my name because I wrecked 20 times. No, that is not the case. Let's put that out there and make sure everybody knows Kurt is a great driver.
Yes, there's only been 2 very small accidents. Yeah,
unavoidable. That's why they're called accidents.
Completely unavoidable. Absolutely, there was no other choice besides to have that car wreck. Yeah, actually, they've both been from the rear end. So, yeah, it actually is true. But thank you for defending me. But yeah, that's who Jessie is. He'll always be there and be your advocate. A little bit later, we're going to talk about on the show how to make sure that you're being dealt with fairly by your insurance. That you just kind of trust your insurance. All the commercials say you need to trust your insurance, but if you think about insurance, what are they all about? They're there to collect the mostest and deliver the leastest, and still keep you paying your premium. So we're going to talk about how the best way to get the most from your insurance and make sure that they're treating you fairly. Nothing untoward, nothing wrong, but to make sure that you're getting the most from your insurance experience. And we're going to be talking about that in the second, third segments on the show. But in the meantime, tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial background. We've got about 2 minutes for you to kind of let them know, who is Jessie, and we know your nickname and that you used to be in the Marines. But tell us a little bit more. Tell the audience a little bit about your background and how you came about creating the shop.
After graduating high school, I attended college, for a year or so, and I'm very all over the place. Not necessarily ADD, but definitely attention deficit in many areas.
He's gregarious. That's what we're trying to say.
I decided to, instead of doing that and throwing all my money away after, I think I was signing up for about 15 credits and getting 3. So I'm like, you know what, I need some discipline. I signed myself off to the Marine Corps. I went out for 4 years. Before that, I worked at an auto parts store, and I learned a lot of the internal workings, the components of the vehicle. And when I came out of the Marine Corps, it wasn't necessarily an immediate choice that I made. Let's go ahead and do a body shop. I was very interested in the insurance world. I was very interested in staying with something that had to do with the government, but not necessarily a government employee. And I went with Geico, a company that at the time was just blowing up. It was they were advertising everywhere. I could see where they were growing. And they welcomed me with open arms. They taught me
because he, has the lizard idea. Here you got Nessi. They got the lizard.
They got the gecko. Yeah, no relation. No. I didn't get to that high of a level to have under advertising.
There you go.
They're a great company. I still love them to this day, even though I don't work for them or anything like that. But they gave me a different view than most body shop owners and operators have, because I started kind of from the bottom. I mean, I literally trained from taking payments, customer service. Then I went into sales, and I learned a lot of how the insurance companies make their money, which is not how most people think. We can talk about that a little bit later on when we talk about the insurance, but also about how customers should be treated and how customers expect to be treated, and sometimes they just don't get that. After I was with the insurance company for a few years and transferred into the automotive appraisal field, I had an opportunity, great opportunity to partner up with a very good friend of mine at the time, help him develop his shop to insurance standards, and I took the plunge. I went out. I had a partnership that went great for a few years, and just like all partnerships, you start not seeing eye to eye and creating some differences, and we decided to go our separate ways. So that was about 5-6 years ago, and I started Nessi's the way that I felt should be done, the way that insurance companies like for it to be done, and the way that I got from a lot of my customers that they wanted a shop to be.
You bet. And this is what I've heard a lot of people say about business partners. Just as an FYI, if you're thinking out of creating business partnerships, that business partnerships and marriages are two of the most important things that you're going to consider in your life, and not necessarily in any particular order. So in other words, pick your business partners wisely, because they're just as hard or easy to work with as your spouse. So choose wisely on both of those, and you'll have a happy life. So thanks for sharing that. Obviously, you've done a great job and have a lot of happy customers. And we're going to be talking about what has created that. Those repeat customers such as myself, they keep coming back over and over. So don't go away. You'll learn about why it is that if you haven't been at Jessie's Nessi's Auto, that you need to be able to create that experience and have that wonderful experience. So this is Kurt Wilhelm, the host of The Social Universe, here on World Talk Radio on Voice America, joined by Jessie Nessi of Nessi's Auto. We'll be right back.